Get baby boomers talking about how American family life has changed since they were kids, and chances are good that the conversation will soon turn to Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver is often remembered as the perfect American family sitcom, but behind its wholesome image are secrets most fans never knew. It featured one of the first on-screen toilets in U.S. television, and one episode cost nearly $50,000, far above its usual budget. Behind the scenes, the cast faced real challenges, including personal struggles and sudden departures that shaped the show's direction. These hidden stories reveal that beneath the picture-perfect family was a far more complex reality, making its legacy even more compelling. The most expensive episode, one of the most unforgettable moments in Leave It to Beaver, wasn't just about the story. It was about the cost behind it. On May 6, 1961, the episode In the Soup aired, showing Beaver stuck in a giant billboard bowl of soup. It looked like a simple, playful storyline, but it became the most expensive episode the series ever produced, costing nearly $50,000, far above its usual $30,000 to $40,000 budget. The plot itself was classic Beaver. He and his friend Whitey spot a towering soup billboard, and on a dare, Beaver climbs up to see if the soup is real. But once he reaches the top, he gets stuck, triggering a frantic rescue that draws attention from the entire town. What made this episode stand out wasn't just the situation, it was how it was brought to life. To create the illusion, the production team built two massive billboards. One was placed outdoors for wide shots, capturing the scale of the scene and the town's reaction. The other was a large indoor replica designed for close-ups, allowing Beaver to appear as if he were actually inside the soup. For a family sitcom in the early 1960s, this level of production was highly ambitious and expensive. The cost went beyond just building the sets. Filming on such a large scale required more time, more crew, and more coordination than usual. Jerry Mathers later recalled that this episode became one of the most talked-about moments in the show's history. It wasn't just entertaining. It pushed the limits of what the production could handle, but that ambition came with consequences. After In the Soup, the producers made a clear decision to scale things back. Instead of expensive set pieces, they shifted towards smaller, more character-driven stories, focusing on relationships and everyday life. They relied more on the ensemble cast and simpler settings, which helped control costs while keeping the show's charm intact. The series became better because of the changes which created a stronger show. The show retained its authentic human connection because it focused on character relationships instead of visual effects. The team discovered their resource limits through the experience of producing an expensive episode which showed them their maximum production capabilities. The episode demonstrated how essential Beaver was to the show. His curiosity and willingness to take risks were at the center of many storylines, and this moment became one of his most iconic. The production process behind the show created a complex system which required workers to create what seemed to be a simple childhood adventure. Beyond the budget, In the Soup symbolized the ambition behind the series. The show proved that a basic family sitcom could use extensive visual effects and innovative storytelling methods. Every moment which creates television magic requires meticulous preparation because of the necessary trade-offs and existing production capacities. The cast and crew experienced their success while learning through their work on the episode. The demonstration showed everything which could be accomplished, while showing the limits of what could be done. The show remains one of its most memorable moments for fans to enjoy. The episode In the Soup shows how Leave It to Beaver includes hidden artistic work. The show used its basic plot to create a humorous story which required total dedication and clever planning and exceptional artistic work. The episode showed one of the show's most impressive visual displays, which represented only a small fraction of the work done to achieve a timeless quality for the basic sitcom. While the Soup Bowl episode dazzled audiences and nearly broke the budget, not every cast member's time on the show was as straightforward or carefree. Some had to leave for deeply personal reasons, shedding light on the less visible struggles behind the scenes. Judy Hensler's sudden exit. Jerry Weil played Judy Hensler, the sharp, mischievous classmate who often challenged Beaver's innocence. She appeared in 31 episodes, becoming a recurring presence in the show's portrayal of childhood. But despite her promising role, Jerry decided to leave the series before it concluded. The real reasons for her departure wouldn't come to light until many years afterward, revealing a story marked by the realities of adolescence under the spotlight. As Jerry grew older during filming, her body began changing in ways that made her feel uncomfortable on set. She recalled this time vividly in an interview decades later, explaining how the production tried to manage these early puberty signs by wrapping ace bandages around her chest to conceal her developing figure. This was an awkward and stressful experience for a young girl surrounded mostly by boys who did not share the same challenges. While such preparations might seem simple today, back then they created a burdensome environment for her. One particular scene she described highlights the personal difficulties she faced. During a baseball episode where Judy hit a home run, Jerry wore a long skirt and experienced her first period. The producers wanted her to spin around in a way that risked showing her sanitary pad. For a child who hadn't yet fully processed these changes, the fear of embarrassment was intense. Her discomfort was compounded by the fact that the male cast members never had to face such concerns, creating a divide in how growing up was experienced on set. These moments made Jerry realize that continuing on the show would mean enduring ongoing embarrassment and anxiety. Rather than feeling supported, she felt isolated and pressured by expectations that didn't account for normal adolescent development. Ultimately, she chose to leave the show voluntarily, wanting to escape this difficult phase rather than push through it for the sake of the series. Her decision was not a firing, as some rumors suggested, but a personal choice grounded in a need for self-care and privacy. Her departure from the show allows people to consider the difficulties which child actors must deal with after finishing their work. The experience of working on a successful television show appears attractive, yet actors must handle various physical and emotional challenges throughout their development, from childhood to adulthood. The cheerful family presentation which Jerry shows in his story proves that actual people experience normal life challenges, which become more difficult to handle because of their public occupation. The pressures which Jerry experienced demonstrate the different environments which existed for boys like Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow, who played the Cleaver siblings. The production choices made during the show prevented her from developing personal challenges which her character faced in real life. The show staff environment becomes more complex through her experience, which exposes the historical absence of support for young female performers during that time period. The departure of Jerry from the show created changes to its existing dynamic. The character of Judy Hensler functioned as a contrasting character who showed her full-body power to the audience. The absence of her required writers to change existing plot lines while creating new characters who could take her place. The show maintained its wholesome appearance, but the show lost a vital element when Judy left. The new development created an ongoing series of events that affected the entire show. The exit of Jerry Weil from the show demonstrates how growing up on camera creates both career and personal decision-making challenges which extend beyond scripted material. Her story quietly stands as a testament to the challenges behind Leave It to Beaver's sunny surface, an important hidden facet many fans never saw. The show created a picture-perfect family, but behind the scenes, young actors experienced complex situations that remained undisclosed. While Jerry's departure marked a turning point for the child cast, another cast member wrestled with an overwhelming personal tragedy that tinted his entire time on the show in ways few ever knew. Behind Ward Cleaver's smile, Ward Cleaver, the calm, steady father figure of Leave It to Beaver, was portrayed by actor Hugh Beaumont. On screen, he embodied the ideal American dad, kind, wise, and patient. Yet behind this warm and reassuring smile lay a heartbreaking reality that profoundly affected Beaumont's life. His time on the show was shaded by a tragedy almost invisible to viewers. In 1959, during the third season, Beaumont's family faced a devastating car accident while traveling from Minnesota to visit him in Hollywood. The vehicle carrying his wife's son, Hunter, and his mother-in-law lost control, causing a serious crash. The accident claimed his mother-in-law's life and left his stepson critically injured. This personal loss struck deep at a time when Beaumont's career was blossoming in the public eye. The juxtaposition between his professional success and private heartbreak was stark. While millions of Americans embraced Ward Cleaver as the perfect father, Beaumont struggled to reconcile that on-screen image with the painful memories that accompanied every episode he filmed. His colleagues noted he often moved through his role with a gentle, somewhat detached demeanor, as if maintaining a protective barrier around his grief. Despite this, Beaumont remained committed to his craft, using his professionalism to shield his emotions. He rarely spoke publicly about the accident, choosing instead to keep his personal pain private. The role of Ward Cleaver, so central to the show's success, became a kind of refuge, but also a reminder of what he had lost. This duality meant that while audiences saw warmth and stability, the actor carried a hidden burden that few could appreciate. His experience reveals the emotional complexities that actors can face when their real lives collide with their fictional personas. Beaumont's grace under pressure allowed the show to maintain its comforting atmosphere, even as he quietly worked through profound grief. For the audience, Ward was the father they wished for. For Beaumont, he was a role that demanded strength amid sorrow. The impact of this loss likely influenced Beaumont's connection to the show and its themes. While Leave It to Beaver celebrated family values and support, Beaumont's story underscores the imperfect realities behind those ideals. His performance carries an added depth when viewed in this light, illuminating the difference between television's portrayal of family and the difficult truths that real families often face. Beaumont's journey also adds a layer of poignancy to the show's legacy. Knowing the personal challenges he endured lends a bittersweet quality to the carefully constructed world of the Cleavers. His quiet resilience in continuing the role leaves a lasting impression on those who look beyond the surface. Beyond personal tragedy, the world of Leave It to Beaver was full of unseen struggles that shaped the series in ways viewers never fully grasped. From costly productions to the challenges of growing up and sorrowful shadows behind smiles, the story of the show is more complex than it first appears. Larry Mondello's disappearance. Larry Mondello was known to fans as one of Beaver's closest friends, the chubby, snack-loving, troublemaking boy who always added mischief and laughter to the episodes. Yet suddenly, after the third season, Larry vanished from the show with no on-screen explanation. Viewers were left puzzled, noticing that a familiar face was gone but never formally addressed in the storyline. This abrupt disappearance sparked rumors and speculation about what had happened behind the scenes. Some believed that Larry's family purposely pulled him away from the pressures of early fame. Maintaining a normal childhood was one of their priorities, and stepping back from acting seemed like a protective choice. But the reality was more complicated. Barbara Billingsley, who played the ever-perfect June Cleaver, later revealed that the cause of Larry's exit was closely tied to his mother. She was reportedly very controlling and difficult to work with, creating tension on set that frustrated the crew and producers alike. Adding to the complexity, the family relocated from California to Philadelphia around that time, making participation in the show logistically impossible. This move, combined with the demanding nature of Larry's mother, made it clear that his departure was irreversible. The charming, roly-poly sidekick who had brightened many scenes suddenly faded into silence, leaving a notable gap in the show's dynamic. To fill this void, the producers introduced a new character, Gilbert Bates, portrayed by Stephen Talbot. Gilbert became Beaver's new partner in crime, carrying much of the same playful mischief that Larry once embodied. Viewers who paid close attention could easily sense that Gilbert was written as a replacement, helping the show maintain its successful formula without skipping a beat. The writers needed to handle this transformation because they needed to maintain the established family atmosphere of the show while dealing with unplanned changes to the cast. Gilbert maintained his presence in the neighborhood adventures, but dedicated viewers still felt the absence of Larry's distinct appeal. The kids experienced a relationship shift because of his absence, which demonstrated to viewers how difficult it is to maintain permanent casting for young characters. The operational difficulties extended beyond the requirements of handling various personalities in different shooting locations. The producers needed to maintain show consistency in both tone and spirit throughout the process of replacing main actors. The series maintained its success because of this ability to adapt to unexpected challenges that appeared throughout its run. The absence of narrative resolution regarding Larry's character development left dedicated fans with many unanswered questions about his story. Larry Mondello's sudden departure highlights how off-screen realities often shape on-screen stories in ways fans never anticipate. His departure resulted from the combination of family matters and personality disputes and geographical factors. The situation demonstrates how child actors and their families struggle to handle their newfound fame while managing both personal and logistical challenges. Larry left the show without making any announcements. Yet, his presence in Leave It to Beaver remains through the memories of the first seasons. The show became popular because of his playful behavior and close friendship with Beaver, which became essential to the show's success. The character of Larry left the show, but his story continues to show viewers the real-life experiences of the actors who played in the renowned sitcom. Every departure and arrival on the set reflected deeper human connections, which brings us to another unique aspect of the show: the genuine bond between its two young stars that felt as real off-screen as on. Real-life bonds of actors. Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow, who portrayed the Cleaver brothers, Beaver and Wally, shared a connection that went far beyond their scripted roles. Their sibling bond on screen felt so authentic that many viewers assumed they were real brothers. But this wasn't just good acting. The two were genuinely close friends throughout the show's production, and long after it ended. Their friendship became a defining element of Leave It to Beaver's success. Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers met as children in 1957 and quickly formed a strong friendship. Jerry later described Tony as the brother he never had, a relationship built on trust, shared experiences, and mutual support amid the challenging world of child stardom. Their easy chemistry made scenes between Wally and Beaver feel natural, capturing the ups and downs of sibling life in a way few shows had managed before. This closeness extended well beyond the series. Even after Leave It to Beaver wrapped, the two actors remained in contact and worked together again in other productions, such as the stage play Boeing Boeing in 1978 and the touring production So Long Stanley. Their willingness to collaborate repeatedly illustrates a rare and enduring trust in an industry known for fleeting partnerships. Interestingly, their genuine bond contrasts with the reversed sibling roles they played. Jerry was actually the older brother in real life, while Tony was the younger. Yet on screen, Tony convincingly took on the protective older brother role as Wally, while Jerry played the curious and sometimes clumsy younger Beaver. This role reversal only highlights their acting skill and deep understanding of each other's strengths. Despite the fame and pressure, the producers went so far as to forbid the two boys from watching the show themselves. Their parents were instructed to keep them from seeing Leave It to Beaver, fearing the spotlight might make them arrogant or lose their natural innocence. This unusual decision helped preserve Jerry and Tony's grounded personalities, allowing them to navigate childhood with a semblance of normalcy away from the cameras. As a result, while millions of viewers adored their characters, Jerry and Tony experienced a very different reality, often unaware of their own impact on audiences. Tony admitted that many years later, he still hadn't watched all the episodes he was in. This paradox of being famous without fully grasping it adds an intriguing layer to their story. The strength of their friendship also proved emotional resilience amid the pressures of child acting. They helped each other maintain a sense of identity beyond their characters, supporting each other through highs and lows. Their bond is an enduring testament to the power of genuine connection in an industry that often isolates its youngest stars. Jerry and Tony's off-screen brotherhood enriched their performances, elevating the show from a simple family sitcom to a beloved cultural touchstone. Their ability to bring authentic warmth to the Cleaver family made the series resonate more deeply with viewers, delivering not just laughs, but a believable portrayal of sibling love and rivalry. Their story reminds us that behind the cameras and scripts were real kids forging friendships that lasted a lifetime. In the world of Leave It to Beaver, the fictional family thrived because the actors themselves shared a bond that transcended the small screen. Though true connections like theirs shaped much of the show's heart, the series also pushed boundaries with moments that quietly shattered television taboos, challenging the cultural norms of its era. Trailblazing television moments, Leave It to Beaver quietly broke ground with moments that seemed simple, but were actually revolutionary for 1950s American television. One of the most surprising was the show's daring inclusion of a toilet on screen, an element that had long been considered taboo in family programming. In the October 1957 episode titled Captain Jack, Wally and Beaver decide to raise an alligator, but hiding it poses a problem. Their unconventional solution, the water tank of a toilet, shown briefly on camera, includes the lid and flush handle. At the time, showing any part of a toilet was almost unthinkable. Television networks, including CBS and ABC, reacted strongly against the script, fearing it would undermine the innocence of family shows. The producers had to negotiate fiercely and ultimately agreed on a compromise. Only the tank and flush handle would appear on screen, avoiding full toilet imagery. This subtle inclusion marked a quiet revolution, exposing audiences to an everyday object never before acknowledged on primetime television. This moment had a ripple effect greater than one episode. It challenged television standards and hinted at a new willingness to depict real life, even mundane or unseemly things, in family entertainment. The scene showed that Leave It to Beaver was willing to push the boundaries of what was acceptable, making viewers reconsider their assumptions about propriety on screen. What seemed like a small detail was actually a bold statement about authenticity. Besides toilets, the show was careful to avoid caricature or slapstick, favoring gentle humor and relatable situations. The producers strictly enforced rules that cut any lines causing loud laughter on set. They aimed for soft smiles and quiet recognition rather than uproarious comedy, distinguishing it from other over-the-top sitcoms of the time. This approach allowed viewers to see themselves in the stories rather than watching exaggerated performances. The show introduced its first toilet scene when it became the first program to show this bathroom fixture on television. The show introduced topics which American families kept secret because they spent private time together but avoided public discussion. The show created an authentic domestic environment which allowed later programs to present daily life experiences without restrictions. The show included multiple bold elements which extended beyond its toilet scene. The show presented realistic content through its episodes by showcasing sibling rivalries and showing how parents handle their children. The show achieved authenticity through selecting these choices, which displayed the actual, disorganized nature of family existence. The show achieved its appealing quality through its method of showing wholesome content while showing genuine life situations. Tony Dow, who played Wally in the show, brought his acting skills and his legitimate sports background to the program, which enhanced its authentic atmosphere. Tony Dow, who competed in Junior Olympics diving, became a believable older brother through his disciplined athletic skills and commanding presence. His natural personality brought authenticity to the show, which reached beyond what the script required. The show, Leave It to Beaver, established its innovative approach to both content and show execution, which created its lasting impact on popular culture. The program demonstrated that family-oriented television could create fan bases without having to avoid actual life situations. The show established important development points for television storytelling through its toilet scene, which shows how small display of courage can change audience viewpoints. While the series pushed boundaries in what it showed, it also took an uncommon approach by letting its characters grow and change with time. an unusual practice in the era's sitcom landscape. Iconic character growth. One of the defining features that set Leave It to Beaver apart from many of its contemporaries was its choice to allow characters to age naturally alongside the actors. When the show premiered, Beaver was a second grader full of curiosity and mischief. Wally, his older brother, was on the cusp of adolescence, dealing with the awkwardness and uncertainties of being an eighth grader. Instead of freezing them in perpetual childhood, the writers let them mature year by year, cultivating a rare sense of realism for viewers. Across 6 seasons, Wally transitioned from a neighborhood kid into a typical high school boy. The show depicted his journey through sports, girlfriends, and the various challenges of growing up. Meanwhile, Beaver maintained many of his youthful traits, but wasn't spared the growing pains either. He experienced the first uncomfortable moments of adolescence, shyness, the awkwardness of new responsibilities, and the lessons that come with advancing grades. This approach was bold for its time. Most shows preferred to keep characters in a static age range to maintain consistency. Leave It to Beaver's choice to reflect actual growth made the episodes feel like snapshots along a real childhood timeline. Audiences didn't just watch fictional lives. They saw parts of their own development mirrored in Wally and Beaver's experiences. Although the age gap between the brothers fluctuated in the writing, sometimes 4 years, sometimes 5, the overall effect was still powerful. This flexibility allowed the show to explore a broader range of themes suited to their respective stages of life. The show could chronicle first crushes, school events, and challenges that felt authentic because they evolved naturally over time. This method of character growth also deepened viewers' emotional connections. People felt invested not only in individual episodes but in the characters' journeys. Watching the brothers mature made the show a comforting companion across childhood and adolescence, a rare achievement in television at that time. Allowing characters to grow with age also presented challenges for the producers. They had to adapt scripts to accommodate shifting dynamics and find new storylines relevant to different stages. Yet, the decision paid off by lending a unique authenticity and continuity that many sitcoms lacked. By the end of the series, Wally had graduated from high school, and Beaver was ready to leave elementary school behind, symbolizing a passage into new life chapters. Few shows gave their viewers such a clear sense of progression, offering closure on childhood while honoring its complexity. This real-time aging transformed Leave It to Beaver from just a family sitcom into an engaging coming-of-age narrative. It offered audiences a rare chance to grow alongside beloved characters, making their stories resonate across generations. As the Cleaver brothers stepped into new phases, the show's legacy grew richer, rooted in a truthful vision of family and youth. With this evolving authenticity in mind, the series' conclusion was as thoughtful as its storytelling, shaped by choices that highlighted the importance of real life beyond the camera. The show's unexpected end. After 6 successful seasons, Leave It to Beaver came to an end in 1963, but not because of falling ratings. The real reason was Jerry Mathers, who chose to step away just as he was about to enter junior high. He realized that filming, promotions, and public appearances would take over his life. Instead, he made a rare and mature decision for a young actor. He chose school and personal growth over fame. That decision changed everything. As Theodore Beaver Cleaver, Jerry wasn't just the lead, he was the heart of the show. His innocence, curiosity, and everyday mischief were what made the series feel real and relatable. Without him, the producers quickly understood that continuing wouldn't feel the same. Rather than risk losing what made the show special, they chose to end it. The show became unwatchable for viewers who tried to envision it without the character of Beaver. The supporting cast members performed well in their roles, but they failed to match the emotional depth that Jerry brought to his character. The character created a base for family relationships, which provided viewers with an authentic and timeless view of childhood. The show maintained its original identity through its conclusion, which expanded its boundaries without diminishing its core elements. The show closure served as more than a finale. because it signified the conclusion of an entire historical time period. The show created an ideal representation of family life, which Jerry abandoned when he left the show to pursue becoming an adult. The show decided to show reality because its characters needed to stop being pure. The legacy continued to exist after many years had passed. The cast gathered again in 1983 for the special Still the Beaver, which featured Jerry returning as a father. The story achieved closure for viewers while showing how the story developed with its audience. The show ends because its main character wants to leave since he has lost his connection to his family. The writer created the ending through his personal experience. Jerry Mathers protected the series when he decided to end his character. The series maintains its value because the story ends at its appropriate moment. Leave It to Beaver offered much more than laughs. It revealed hidden stories, unexpected challenges, and real growth behind the scenes. From groundbreaking moments to the cast's personal journeys, the show's legacy is richer than most realize. If you enjoyed uncovering these secrets, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating insights into classic TV history. And tap the video on your screen waiting for you next, because that story goes even deeper.